before joining SeaNet 2 years ago as chief stewardess on board of one of our yachts in the fleet. I've worked on numerous yachts, different sizes, from 30 meter to 140 meters, on several positions, where I fine-tuned my skills and knowledge about the yachting industry and in general all the interior tasks. But before joining this industry, I've worked on other management positions where I managed the teams of 50 plus people.
50 plus people,
Yeah.
on a yacht?
Not on the yacht. It was related with the sailing yachts, but it was related with tourism.
And what's involved in the role? I mean, imagine that owners are going to be calling you for flight reservations, restaurant reservations. Is that the kind of thing that you're involved with?
That is only one of the aspects that I'm involved with. We are now building a whole new relationship with our owners that we have in SeaNet company. Before, the communication was done between the captains and our management, Matti and Leon, whereas now I'm more focused in details to plan their trips, to make it tailor-made for their needs and preferences, from activities to itinerary proposals, activity guides and recommendations on restaurants, bars, cultural or gastronomical sightseeing that they could do around the locations where the boat is at that moment. Along with that, we are as well discussing and planning for the future seasons and boats in general. What can we do as a company to make their stay on board even better, or for service-wise? So the aspect is just getting bigger and bigger from what my position could bring to the owners or the charter guests that we have in the company.
How many crew do you have now in SeaNet?
At the moment, we have 45 people working full year, and in the next year we are going to have extra 18, so it's going to be 60 plus people until the end of 2023.
And for your job, what involvement do you have with the hiring of new people, the training of new people?
So it all starts with recruitment of posting a job application, going through all the applicants, doing the interviews, picking up the top candidates, where then Johnny, my colleague, and the captain we are looking the team for are doing the final stage interviews, and then we proceed with the next step, which would be the training of informing them about the standards of the company, in general of the rules of the boat, informing them about the owners that they will be working in with, and then from that step on, we continue our communication as each owner is coming prior to their trip to prepare everything as they need, request, or not even expected.
And Matti actually was talking about how it's always been important to have a very high standard of the technical side of the yacht, that everything's working as it should be. And now, of course, you're making sure that there's an equally high standard for the service side and the hospitality side. So are you sending your crew to special courses to learn about what they need to be doing? How does that work?
Well, we are doing the courses, the trainings in-house, internal. Our plan is in the next couple of years to have a personal SeaNet Academy where we will train personnel, not just for our needs, but for whoever wants to have a solid start to this industry with all the basic knowledge to enter and be a good candidate for any other boat as well, but of course primarily for our needs. At the moment, I'm doing individual trainings with each new crew member that comes for interior department. As well, I've created throughout this last couple of years, let's call it a SeaNet Bible, with some daily rundowns of boss off, boss on period, as well with the fine details of housekeeping. It comes from explaining the smallest parts, how to handle the equipment on board, how to secure the place, how to secure yourself when using certain chemicals to treat certain materials inside of the interior, and then going in details about service, from different varieties of styles, setting up the tables, as well a little bit about the cocktails, the barista, cigars, or whatever that could implement them and reach their service abilities to perform for our owners.
Do you think the people who are joining the industry as crew, do you think they know, like we were saying earlier, people arrive and there's this euphoria, or I'm on a yacht, I'm in Croatia, I'm in Monaco, and then the adrenaline level goes down because there's the reality of the hard work that needs to be done. Do you think people are ready for that, most candidates?
I don't think this job is for everyone, and that's why I think it's very important to be transparent when we're talking about the job and the duties. One of the biggest assets of SeaNet company is that they recognize the hard work that crew does on the yacht, and due to that reason and the reason of 2 seasons per yacht, we have back-to-back rotation from the most junior position to the senior position, which is nothing to compare with any other company in this industry. And it just says that it is important to know that while you're on boat, you need to be 100% present and dedicated to perform your job at the best possible way, and then you have the earned holiday that you really need and require. Because these days it's very popular to see young ladies or gentlemen working on a yacht from all over the world, thinking that they have a one-life opportunity to travel for free and get paid to do a little bit of washing here or there, where there's actually a full-on dedication, and it's for someone who wants to be part of hospitality and service for other people.
So I think it's worth mentioning as well that you, of course, you're a stewardess, a chief stewardess, then chief stewardess working in the SeaNet fleet. So you haven't come from outside immediately to hospitality manager. Is that a common thing within SeaNet, or do SeaNet tend to outsource people from outside to bring them into the company?
So the company's core idea is to first look at the crew that we have, and whoever has the biggest potential and has showed the initiative to grow inside of the company has the opportunity to prove themselves and step up to a senior position. And I think that is as well one of the main pushes for the crew that is working for this company, to understand that they're not taken so easily and not looked at. You can be replaced any second. So it is important for us to have people that are loyal, that are initiative, that want to grow personally but inside of the company as well. And I think it is important for a crew member to work for a company that you know has your back, is not going to replace you for the first hiccup that comes. As you know, now in the world situation, in the yachting, there's a lot of changes, and with the COVID that's happened, there was a lot of people let go from their positions, whereas here we kept people and we hired even more, and we promoted the ones that needed the promotion. So I think that in general, it is the overview of this whole company is a mutual growth.
Well, I can see that you have a lot of contact with the crew. Do you have very much contact with the co-owners as well?
With the co-owners, absolutely. I'm the link between the crew and the co-owners now, and the management. So my relationship with the owners is just now growing even more. For some of them it's easier because they know me from my chief stew position. Whereas for some, we are just now meeting each other. They're trying to give me their details on preferences, on how their usual daily schedule goes. And as well, they are trying to give me a feedback on the crew. But as well, I'm getting the feedback from the crew or comments they want me to get from the owners. So I am literally a scale between them.
How do you go about doing that? Because I know I sometimes get emails asking me for feedback, and if I'm really honest, I just couldn't be bothered to reply to the email. So how do you go about getting honest feedback from the owners?
First of all, we start the communication through the email, but I like to do all the communication face to face. Of course, it is not possible to do it with every owner because they're in different locations. So we do either a video call or a phone call where we discuss certain topics. Of course, if it's something very serious and that requires a certain amount of time to go through their preferences and cover certain topics that are serious, then we do it through a video call through Zoom or Teams or Skype, any platform that is available now. And I think it helps them to be open about it, to be honest about it. And I always push people to say it. That's something that I was doing even before. If there's something that you're maybe not happy about it, or you would like it in a different way, or you have an idea or proposal, I always ask people to be open about it, because I cannot read their minds. And if there is something that they would like to try something different, rather to say it than not, because this way we can start doing actions on what needs to be done.
And I guess for you, the negative feedback is more useful than the positive feedback, because it was great, everything's perfect, is not all that helpful, is
yes.
it? But if they give you directions on something that could be a bit better, that's great.
Absolutely. I don't consider it as a negative comment. That's the thing. I just take it in as a constructive comment. Yeah. Because it is, I think it is important for them to feel comfortable to speak up if there is anything that they think could be improved, as well as from the crew side, if they think that there is something that it could be communicated with the owners regarding the boats. I think it's very important as well for them to feel safe and comfortable to say it, because there is a way to communicate everything.
So the fleet's growing.
Yep.
A new yacht arrives in the fleet. What does that mean for you?
It means a lot of work, but it's exciting. It's very exciting. So one of my duties as well, along the communication with the owners, with the crew, is as well setting up the new yachts. Of course, it's going to be something parallelly with the new crew members that we will recruit or promote from the previous yachts in our fleet. But one of my roles is to step on the boat and set it up from the basics, from the scratch, from tableware, cutlery, flatware, in general all sides for the housekeeping, from laundry, linen for the guests, uniform setup, decorations, materials, whatever it needs to be done for boat to be fully set up from the interior. That's.
And when the yacht's in construction, do you get involved even before delivery with that kind of thing?
That is something that we're now, it's going to be my first time to be involved in the project, not in that detail, because of course the architects are the one who are doing everything, but of course my comments regarding the storages and certain functionalities of the furniture are definitely going to be taken and considered for the final touch-ups.
I wanted to ask you as well, because I know quite a few crew who work on charter, and I'm surprised how often they make the comment that guests sometimes come on board and they just don't know what to do with themselves. Do you find that with some of the owners as well? Do they need a bit of direction on how to enjoy themselves on the yacht?
Absolutely, absolutely. There are people who know how to switch off from their everyday job and responsibilities and duties and just relax, and then there are people who really do not know how to just relax and take it easy and enjoy. So our duties as interior personnel is to find a way how to make their stay as pleasant as possible. We sometimes organize different theme parties for them even without their knowing. So we organize a casino dinner that could be rounded up with some nice cocktails that are themed, and that way we just make it a nice fun dinner with a private casino or something like that. Or we have an anniversary, or we have a Halloween or some holiday that is very big and important, then we try to make a private party for them.
Somebody who is watching the video and they want to become crew on a yacht, how would you advise them to go about doing that? What advice would you give to them?
So for someone who wants to join this industry, I would advise them to look into everything they need for a job role to join this industry, to understand if they have the abilities and skills to get that position that they're interested, and then just to be persistent, because it doesn't come overnight, it takes time, but if you want to do it, you are able to learn whatever. And with the guidance, I don't think it's any problem.
What's the best part of your job?
It's very hard to be specific and point out only one thing. I really love it because it's versatile. I have ability to still be in contact with the crew. I'm coming from the crew background, so I like to stay in touch with the crew. I'm having now an opportunity to discuss with the owners a little bit more in detail, so I love that as well. I am moving around, visiting the boats. I have the ability to build something from the scratch, to have the standard of the company implemented. I think in general it's just the fact that it's so open for growth, because I'm sure that in next 2 years from now we're going to have even more options with this position that I'm doing now.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.